Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, this is Lithium017 from my channel, Nintendo Collecting 101, bringing you gaming story number 4, Pokemon Snap. This game was released July 26th, 1999 in North America, which means it's 14 years old, and it's actually entering high school. You are looking at the box art for the game, and it says catching Pokemon is a snap. What a great pun! On the back of the box, you actually see some examples of what you do in the game. So this game is called an on-rails shooter, even though you aren't shooting guns for once, like all of those first-person shooters today. You take pictures like these of Pikachu, and some other awesome Pokemon like Charmander, Shellder, Poliwhirl, and Pidgeotto, but they actually put on the game box. This is a game pack, not a camera. That is hilarious for marketing purposes. So on the back of the box, it says, Professor Oak needs your help. What does he need your help with? Let's look at the instruction manual for some further clarification. So, who are you playing as in this game? Are you playing as the famous Ash Ketchum? Let's find out. There's a picture of Professor Oak looking pretty funny, a little animated I might say. Dear Todd. Who's Todd? My name is Professor Oak, and I research Pokemon. I have heard of your excellent work as a photographer and would like your assistance in my research. I am currently doing research on Pokemon Island. Where's that? Wild Pokemon are the only creatures who live on the island, making it the perfect place to study Pokemon in their natural habitat. I have thought of asking Pokemon trainers to help me, but I'm afraid they would become too interested in catching the Pokemon on the island. If that happened, the number of Pokemon on the island would decrease, and the Pokemon Island would lose its value. It's all about the value. Instead, I would like for you to take pictures of the Pokemon in their natural setting. Your pictures would help me complete my Pokemon report. I am looking forward to working with you. Please come to my laboratory right away. I'll be waiting for you, Professor Oak. Who's Todd? This guy. Yep, this is Todd. Hey, Todd. He's a young photographer who chases after Pokemon he sees. His camera skills are top-notch. Well, now that you know who you're playing as, and you're not playing as the famous Mr. Ash Ketchum, because he would just destroy the value of the Pokemon Island. Wow. Great plot, once again, Nintendo. Hilarious. But it's all about the gameplay. So what is Pokemon Island? Here is a picture of it. It's an island once inhabited by both humans and Pokemon, but now only Pokemon live there. Although not all types of Pokemon live on the island, many different types can be found. Because an island such as this is so rare, catching Pokemon here is strictly prohibited. So what do you drive around on the island in? A 01 vehicle. It's an all-purpose automated machine developed by Professor Oak for use in researching Pokemon Island. It includes a safety feature which applies the brakes when you're about to collide with a Pokemon. So that is hilarious, and there's another funny picture of Professor Oak winking at you in the way that Professor Oak would if he was a real person. And you're telling me he's not a real person? I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure he's a gaming character. So that's just some information. What else can you do, though? You don't just have to take pictures. You can throw Pokemon food, throw a Pester Ball to kind of annoy the Pokemon, make them do strange things, or even play the Poke Flute. Playing the Poke Flute could wake some Pokemon, Snorlax, or make some Pokemon dance and do strange things. You can also look around quickly with the C buttons, and you can take your camera out by actually hitting the Z button. Press and hold. It can change it as well. Now, very important thing of taking pictures, though. You need to make sure they're centered. If your Pokemon aren't centered, you don't get a good score. How else do you get a good score? Having more Pokemon of the same type in your picture, and looking for a special pose. So sometimes there's a special pose and he'll say wonderful, or he'll say, ooh, this Pokemon's in this kind of pose. You never know. So it was really fun to play through the game and try and get a top score. You could take up to 60 photos in one course. After it's over, you actually just arrange which photos you want Professor Oak to actually check and score and grade you. Yes, he's grading your photos. You could also save some photos that you liked in an album, and you could even take your photos. You could take your photos from the game into certain places like, I think, McDonald's, and you could get them printed. That is so funny. If you remember doing this, remember how much it costs, please put a comment below in the video, because taking pictures and actually printing them from this game makes me laugh pretty hard, usually when I saw it. I thought it was pretty funny. So that's pretty much the whole manual, and why do I have 2 copies of the game? Well, this box was the original box that I got with the game, I believe, and then my retro game store that's close to my house had a box of 6 sealed copies. So I decided I wanted to buy one for myself, and I bought one for my friend, and I sold it to him, obviously. And they were only $20, I believe. I normally don't collect sealed games, but having this just shows how close this game was to my heart. I love playing through this game at least once a year. How long does it take to beat the game? Usually about 3 hours if you know what you're doing, sometimes less, sometimes more. And yes, there is a final boss in the game. There are many different courses, and because you kind of look at this picture of the island, you move around on the island, and what you do in one course will unlock something usually to go to another course. Just taking a look at this picture should kind of give you some ideas of where you could go on the island, and the final boss is pretty cool too. Now, it did say that not all types of Pokemon live on an island. That would be a magical Generation 1 island if they did have everyone, but I think that was kind of Nintendo's way of rushing out the game, maybe before it was done because they weren't sure if it would sell really well, but it did sell pretty well. So here is the 151 Pokemon set with an extra, that is Togepi in the middle there. He's number 152, I guess, just for this set. And all of them aren't in the game, but a lot of your favorites will be. It's a lot of fun. If you wanted to pick up the cartridge only, if you wanted to pick up just this guy right here, you're usually looking at under $10. Yes, it is only 3 hours, maybe 5 hours if you don't know what you're doing. However, you could definitely replay the game, and like I said, I replay through this all the time. I think it's a must-have on the Nintendo 64. And it's definitely one of my favorites, maybe for nostalgic reasons. I want to do a video, I will do a video, of how Nintendo should make a Pokemon Snap for the 3DS or the Wii U, because the gyroscope for this game is perfect. They could remake this game, they could add in all 151 Pokemon, or perhaps do another generation, or the current generation, or Pokemon from X and Y. I don't care, just bring me more of it. But if you're going to play this game, why not play it on an exceptional console to kind of match? So I suggest, if you're going to play this game, put it into your Pikachu Pokemon Nintendo 64 console with a Pokeball power button. Press here to reset on Pikachu's little foot. His cheeks even light up when the console is on. It's yellow on the bottom, and you can even play with your matching Pokemon controller, just to up the fun level a little bit of playing Pokemon Snap. So that is Gaming Story number 4. Thank you very much for watching. Let's fill that like bucket. Feel free to follow me on Facebook or Twitter, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and remember, as always, game on.